Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the August meeting of the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Commission. Call this meeting to order. And before we begin, I'd like to ask Dr. Gloria Bonner to lead us in prayer and pledge. Please, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for your presence in our lives today and the life of this community. Grant our leaders the grace, compassion, and courage to make wise decisions that align with your word and your will for this nation as well as our community. Grant us the integrity to walk according to your word, your will, and your ways. These and other blessings we ask in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen.
May we stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well said, Dr. Bonner. Thank you so much. We have, commission members, in front of you the minutes from last month's meeting, or the last meeting, and I'll ask that you review those, and then I'll entertain a motion to accept.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Thank you so much. Before we start our new business, we've got a couple of presentations to make, and I'll get up and go down to the podium. I'd like to ask Rick LaLance, Councilman Rick LaLance, and Councilman Ronnie Martin, if they'll come up here. I'd like to present them with a plaque. Thank you. This plaque is, these are in appreciation for their service to the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Commission for many years for each one of them. And I'd like to thank you on behalf of the commission, the citizens of Murfreesboro, the citizens of Rutherford County for your service and your leadership and your advocacy with the council for us. And last but not least, your humor. Thank you, guys. We're gonna miss the humor, that's for sure. Probably see a little of it before the day's over with. First item on the agenda, Kristen, you gonna give us an update on our bird surveys.
Afternoon. Okay, 6 months ago, this commission approved Murfreesboro Parks doing an intensive bird survey in some of our natural areas, and I wanted to just give you guys a brief update on where we're at with that survey. So keep in mind, this is just 6 months of data. It's not complete. So let's start with Murphy's. There we go. Let's start with Murphy Spring. We have recorded 2,800 birds representing 57 distinct species. This data is, as of now, confirming what we already suspected, that the importance of this site is critical to our migrating species and serves as a great stopping point for these migrating species. So we're on target for what we expected, and we will continue our current management strategies in this area. Sinking Creek Wetlands, this was pretty cool findings so far. This site, we've had 1,700 birds counted, but 80 distinct species have been recorded here at this site, which is kind of interesting because it's about the same size as Murphy Springs, so it has significantly more diversity here. And this will probably alter how we manage the area, but I'm hesitant to make any decisions about that until we get more data. But it is great to have that diversity there, so that's been really nice to see.
The Sinking Creek, is that over by Oakland's?
Oh, yes, that's at Oakland's Park. Yeah. Gateway Island, 6,300 birds have been counted here, representing 69 distinct species. We were pleasantly surprised. We've counted meadowlarks over there, and what's even more important is that we're seeing meadowlarks going through their entire reproductive cycle there, meaning that this area is supporting the entire reproductive cycle of this bird. The significance of this bird is that it's a grassland species, and like quail, they're in decline. So it's really nice to see these birds. So far, this data is showing that this area has a lot of potential. It's currently out of balance for habitat and for species, but there's a lot of potential here, and we'll be making some recommendations moving forward about how to manage it. So just to quickly look at the numbers, these areas are roughly the same size acreage-wise, totaling approximately 70 acres, and these 70 acres are supporting 107 distinct bird species. To give you an idea, TOS, the Tennessee Ornithological Society, has recorded 423 distinct species in Tennessee, and we're hosting 107 of those species. So that's pretty good. Could be a lot better, but it's pretty good, and we're working towards making that better. So, any questions? That was the long and short of it. But
Any questions? How much longer will the survey go?
we'll finish these 3 sites. It'll be a year-long survey. We've started at Old Fort Park, so we'll do a year at Old Fort Park, and then we'll start incorporating other sites as well.
Okay. All
So
right.
it'll be, each site will get a year-long study, which is pretty intensive, but it gives us a really good idea of what species are utilizing these places and how we can use them in our management strategies.
Very neat. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay, Jacob, you're going to tell us about the adult adventure camp?
All right, so my name is Jacob Fogel. I'm relatively new to the parks. I started back in February, and I work at the Wilderness Station. My job is the Assistant Outdoor Recreation Coordinator. So with Dawn Thomas, the woman who runs the Wilderness Station, we came up with a new idea to host an adult adventure camp. One thing with doing these summer camps, all the parents have come up and say, oh, like that sounds like fun. Do you ever do anything with adults? So we kind of brainstormed, and that's why we decided to do this camp. So we would do basically a weekend-long camp. You would stay overnight potentially. Of course, people have families, they have pets. Like I have a zoo at home. I can't really take a night away from my pets, so understandable. But they would come for a day. So right now, our first camp we're trying to do is September 10th and 11th. That Saturday, we would take them kayaking down the Duck River, come back, eat lunch, hang out for a little bit, then we would do some archery. And those that can and want to, we would actually camp within Barfield Park. Then the next day, we'd go caving, which Mr. Eddie Miller said he does not want to do caving, which is understandable. But to just basically get people outdoors and doing these different things that, you know, as kids, we send our kids off to do it because they're still agile. We want them to get experiences outside, but as adults, we kind of forget that we can do it for ourselves as well. So we're proposing to do this twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. The fees, we're doing $125 plus a $50 activity fee, which that extra $50 is basically coverage for all the equipment that we're using, any potential wear and tear that we might have to end up replacing it. And then basically every camp that we do, we would try to do something different. So my background is rock climbing guiding, which I used to rock climb guide in the New River Gorge, West Virginia, or New River Gorge National Park in Fayetteville, West Virginia. So we do rock climbing, caving, rappelling, kayaking, hiking, all sorts of stuff.
Very good, Jake. Any questions? I did. I told him I was interested, but he lost me at the cave-in.
It's a very walkable cave. It's probably like the best cave you could do for your first one. Just saying.
Just sort of shine a light in there and look into it. Yep, looks good.
Thank you, Jake.
No problem.
So I need a motion that we accept the new program for the adult adventure camp.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All know of any opposed? There are none. Thank you so much, Jake. Next item on the agenda, Kyle, you're gonna come up and give us a facility swim attire policy update and change, please, sir.
Thank you. I think it was last commission meeting, there was a question regarding the swimsuit policy at our pools. Since then, we've taken a closer look at how we operate and what others in the area are doing. We kind of found that we were in line with that, but we wanted to go ahead and clarify that to minimize any future problems. So we're bringing forward the following. Clothing with frayed material, such as cut-off shorts that can damage pool filtration systems, are not allowed. Swimwear with buckles, exposed zippers, metal ornaments, or rivets are not allowed on the water slides. To maintain a family-friendly environment, swimsuits must provide adequate coverage. This prohibits, but is not limited to, the following: thongs, see-through swimsuits, or clothes unintended to be worn as swimsuits. And for health and sanitation requirements, children under the age of 3, anyone who is not fully toilet trained or is incontinent must wear a swim diaper. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to try and answer them.
Any questions for Kyle?
You're saying that your research on this for other pools in the area, this was pretty much in line with that, which,
Most of them were a lot more lax. Metro Parks was the only one that specified things which we've included in this. We've tweaked it more so to fit our facilities, though.
So this was curious as I got into this and read through it. Obviously, you think people use reasonable sound judgment about some of those things, and then of course we realize we have to have policies because people sometimes don't use reasonable sound judgment. And then that begs the question on what's reasonable and sound and who's making that decision. But all that to say, one of the things I was curious about is I'm always leery to put staff in those enforcement situations where they're making judgment calls. And, you know, I had a daughter that worked for Parks and Rec and worked with the pool specifically. And I think about her addressing adults related to these swimsuit issues and those types of things. So I know you guys have thought about that.
Yep.
I know you wouldn't have proposed what you're proposing without having worked through how you're going to do that, the training that you're going to provide staff, and the coaching related to having some of those tough conversations. But can you just talk a little more about that? Because obviously there's a need for it.
Yep.
Otherwise you wouldn't be proposing it.
True. On the enforcement end, if we notice an issue, what staff's going to be trained to do is to come get myself or a female manager, and those were the ones that'll go through and address those issues. If it's a guy wearing a bad swimsuit, I'll go deal with it. If it's a girl, I'll go get a female staff member to go deal with that.
So I think it'll be addressed to our operations staff. It wouldn't be at a lifeguard or head lifeguard level, but facility operations staff, be it our aquatic superintendent or facility superintendent or facility supervisors, would handle anything like you said. It'll be something where they can look at, and at least now we have a framework for what we can enforce and not enforce.
Yeah, of course, so much of the time, if you don't have specific guidelines, then it's hard to enforce. And so we've seen that a lot, so I understand. But just, I think that could be more work, but I'll let you guys make the call and figure it out.
are there gonna be some signs out front? I mean, that just at least kind of say no thongs, no, you know, whatever. I mean, is that,
Yeah, we'll have our policy. We have that.
I didn't say pictures, I was thinking pictures. I didn't say pictures.
It will be.
Everybody get the wrong idea.
I don't want to get out in front of Kyle, but it'll be more subtle because it's not something that we deal with all the time. But we do have a policy to refer back to now that we can communicate to people. But Kyle and his staff will come up with the best way to display that at our entry points, I would say, to the facilities.
Yeah, even on the website would probably be a good place to post it as well. I would just like to say, I've been on the commission about 10 years now, probably 12, and this is the first time that I ever made the agenda, so this is a very important, a very big moment for me, and so I thank you for letting me be on the agenda for one time in the 12 years since I've been on the commission. I feel like I've really accomplished something, that I made a difference, so thank you.
Thank you, Ricky, and good point.
Yeah, but it is a serious, you know, like I said, I went out there the first day Borough Beach opened, and there was some, what I thought that was some questionable, and like I said, we want to make it family-oriented. We want it to be Borough Beach, not Miami Beach, so that was my main concern. That was my main concern. That's good. Yeah. And you know, at Miami Beach, you know, it's a little different, you know, but, yeah, so that was my concern, so.
Do we need a motion to approve the new, okay, I'll make well, no, I won't, I'm gonna let Ricky, why don't you?
Yeah, well, I make a motion that we approve the new dress code for the, not only at SportsCom, but also Patterson as well.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Thank you, Kyle. Next on the agenda, Susan Hicks. Very busy woman.
Good afternoon. I am seeking approval for our new do-it-yourself band class. We have a staff member that is really interested in the audio side of it, so he wants to teach this class about kids starting their own band, whether it be a rock band or country band, and we're going to get the kids together and kind of walk through that process and what that looks like over a 4-week period. And we just are seeking your approval for that.
Any questions for Susan?
Susan, say if you had a kid that wanted to participate, is there any kind of funding? I see that the program costs $50. Is there?
Yes, it's a $25 fee and a $25 supply fee, a
Okay.
class fee, so it's kind of broken down. And we do have stuff in place to manage children that are not able to afford this class.
I don't know what kind of outreach do Parks and Rec have for situations like this, but it seems like there need to probably be more, I guess, communication between, I guess, the citizens, or because I think if somebody knew that a child who wanted to participate in the band and didn't have the adequate funds, I think we as a community would come together and kind of assist, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe just leave some information at the front end, or just call, or like I said, once you find out who wants to participate in it, and maybe don't have, even with the assistance from the funding, just get in touch with me, and I'll make sure that the community will come together and just kind of help somebody out, and make sure, because we don't want nobody turned away because they can't afford something,
Mr. Turner, we have our financial assistance policy, and I'll say Susan and her staff have done a tremendous job engaging those who might not have the ability to pay, and bringing them into some of our existing programs like Perform Murfreesboro, and engaging them in these activities. I'm certain we'll do the same thing with this program.
Okay.
Yes.
Is our financial assistance program, maybe I should already know this, but is it basically just kind of more what we would think of as a general fund kind of line item?
Correct. It's just offsets the cost of it, so.
Be worthwhile. I mean, I've been to a couple of soccer facilities that have foundations built into it's a public, it's
Yeah.
a municipal-owned facility, but they have like some sort of a separate 501c3 set up that is a city 501c3 that people can give to for, I think, this exact kind of thing. Might be an idea for the future for you guys.
We've been discussing, and I'm getting ahead of myself here just a little bit, but we've been discussing what it might look like for people to be able to make investments in the park system, from greenway maintenance to, underserved areas, that type of thing. So we're early on in those discussions of what that might be able to be. But people want to donate to whatever passion area, and that's definitely something. But I assure you, nobody's ever turned away for their ability or inability to pay for any program that we have.
We build it into our budget in most programs that we continue to have each year. For example, there's I think a 23 or 24% line item in basketball for free or reduced participation.
Will the classes be conducted at Patterson Park?
Yes, ma'am, they will.
I suffered through my brother's band in our garage for years. So I commend you for this, because all they let us play was Shotgun by
Yes.
Jimmy Walker and the All-Stars. It was one song. So I
Yes.
commend you.
It's going to be very interesting in how this proceeds and how it grows. So this is our first attempt to kind of engage and see what interest there is, and then we'll see where we go from here.
Very
Yeah.
good. Very neat. Do I have a motion that we approve this new do-it-yourself band class?
So move.
And a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Thank you, Susan, but you are still up.
I am still up.
Okay.
The next item that I have is an increase in some of our classes. We have a guardian and toddler class and several smaller classes that incorporate a $3 per activity fee every time they come. We would like to move that to $5. It'll help us sustain the products that we have, the art supplies and all those other things, and make it more economically sound for the city.
Any questions on this fee change? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we make this change.
So moved. Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Thank you so much, Susan.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Mr. Chairman, if I could jump in before Melinda hops up, I just wanted to tell you, we've been having the finance report on each agenda for the past 6 meetings I think we had. We're going to continue that. The reason it's not on this agenda is that we're wrapping up fiscal year 21-22. So we've got all of our revenues in that were just tremendous, but we're still working on paying all the bills and getting all of our expenses 100% accounted for. We're probably 95, 96% there. So we'll bring that to the September commission with more of a comprehensive visual for how we were able to perform financially for fiscal year 21-22.
That's great.
And once again, Nate, that's just really, really good. Appreciate you doing that. It's very valuable information for us as a team here to kind of understand a little bit better what goes on at the detail level.
Yeah, I think what we're going to try to do, and I think we've talked about it some, is show you kind of our view for what our community investment plan funding is for the next 5 or 6 years, and showing what projects are on the horizon from a capital standpoint too. So you'll be seeing more of that as well.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Cunningham, for getting this initiated and started for us. Okay, Melinda, you gonna tell us about everything going on?
I will tell you about some of the things that are going on. We have got so many that we would probably turn this into a 3-hour show if I told you everything. One of the first things that is going on now is the Rutherford Art Alliance Juried show, Art Is, and it is in the Rotunda now. If you want to take a look at it on your way out. We are having an artist reception August 12th from 5:30 to 7, and that's a good chance to talk to the different artists and maybe ask about their techniques or what inspires them. So that's going on now through September 1st. We have outdoor yoga Saturday, August 13th from 9 to 10 a.m. at Patterson Park. It's free. We've got a lot of things going on at Cannonsburg Village. We've got some toddler adventure days. This one in particular is about tractors. We've got homeschool days going on. We've got craft programs. Learn to crochet a popcorn wreath, I believe is one. And coming up also is learn to freeze food. If you've been growing a lot of things in your garden this summer and want to save things for this winter, that would be a good opportunity to come and learn about that as well. Saturday, September 3rd at the Wilderness Station is our annual Hummingbird Festival, and that is amazing. They have a lot of hummingbirds there. There will be different children's activities and a a lady usually comes and bands the little hummingbirds. I don't know how she does it. She catches them and then puts teeny tiny little bands on their feet. I guess, is that what they're called? Hummingbird feet. But it's 7:30 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. Lots to do there. Lots to learn about our little hummingbird friends. The Greenway Art Festival, again, will be held at Old Fort Park along the trail near the Kids Castle, Saturday, September 17th from 10 to 4. It's always a great, great event to see some of the artists in our town. You can view the art, you can buy it. We'll have some live entertainment, a lot going on that day. Of course, our 76th year to have our city closed tennis championship at Adams Tennis, and you can check the website for more information on how to enter, and that will be held September 23rd, that weekend. And this is something new, the indoor team triathlon. This is at Patterson Park Community Center, and let's see, I'm gonna have to read my notes on that. The event is September 24th, but you can go ahead and register now. You swim 500 meters in the indoor pool. You bike 12 miles on a stationary bike indoors, and then you run 3 miles on the indoor track. It's $60 per team, and a team consists of 2 to 3 people. So if you have any questions about that, you can call Roger at Patterson Park, 615-893-7439.
So like if you got 6 people on your team, do you only have to do a 6?
I like the way you think.
Or 3? I mean, that kind of confused me a little.
I like the way you think. Of course, registration is now open for the middle half. It will be held October 8th, and it starts at 7. Start and finish on Main Street, and it's limited to 1,500 participants. Go to themiddlehalf.com to register. And Parks and Rec has been a sponsor of this event since the beginning. Everything can be found on our website at murfreesboroparks.com. And you can see all the dots are, we have things going on that day. So, of course, we have something going on every single day in August. And to find out more information, you can click on the View All Events button, and you'll have more details about each event that's going on. And, of course, all of our Facebook pages, whatever you're interested in, there should be a Facebook page for you. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Melinda.
Okay, thank you.
And thanks to our awesome staff for making all these programs happen. So, is there any other business to come before the commission this month?
Can I ask just one question before we, my last meeting here, and it won't be until September, but I just kind of want to think through or make sure we're doing everything we can do, kind of on Ricky's point of getting the word out as far as the Miracle, the national championships.
The Miracle League All-Star event?
Yeah,
We should have press releases going out here within the next couple weeks to notify all the media groups, plus the national office. They've got a media package that they're working through with the national media and stuff like that. So I think it'll be covered really well.
I'd love to see us really get that ramped up, and love to see some good community involvement. If there's some way we can parlay something else at that facility, you know, just at the softball parking lot or the sports com parking lot at the same time that's going on, to get a bunch of people in the area. I don't want to crowd it out, but I mean, just something. I think that'd be a really cool thing if we had a lot of people there and a lot of supporters and stuff like that. And it's a cool event. I think I saw an article in Wall Street Journal a few weeks ago about the Miracle League. I mean, they had an entire page on the Miracle League. It was maybe in Pennsylvania or something, if I remember the article was about, and how, you know, just how obviously awesome it is. So, I mean, anyway, I just think it'd be a really neat deal to just I want everybody in town to know about it, right? That's kind of my point, I guess.
I think we'll work hard on getting that word out. I think things going in, you know, already set in motion. Our police and fire department, we've been working with them on how we're going to do a really fun welcome for them.
Oh, perfect.
They're going to be able to enjoy our facilities. I think it's going to be a really good experience for
Great.
some of our participants, our staff, and then the people visiting Murfreesboro.
Any other-
Chairman, yeah, I wanted to bring up one point. It's not yet a flood by any means, but I continue to get questions from time to time on West Park. And I think it would be good at this point in time, not today, but maybe at the next meeting to kind of give an update on that. And it seems like we've made some decisions. I've received some correspondence through the mail that would suggest that maybe some decisions have been made on that, and I just as soon have those things confirmed or modified, or because you know how things get. This was a very, very hot issue with some people, and they were making up some of their own information because they didn't feel like they were getting what they needed to have on that. So I just think it would be good to get into that and even maybe have some involvement from us. Maybe we go and put eyeballs on the sites or whatever the case might be. But I think that would be a good situation because I continue to get, you know, little bits and pieces. And I think you and I have talked a time or two. People, in the absence of information, they say, I'm the expert, when in reality they're not. And that gets to be kind of dangerous at times. So it'd probably be a good thing maybe for the next meeting.
Mr. Cunningham, I have that lined up right now for our October meeting for more of a comprehensive update. I think we'll get our development services team to come in and help us with some type of presentation. Right now, the simple version of where we stand is we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We're looking at, you know, things are looking promising to trade 120 acres for 149 acres closer to town. I think it's more suitable for a park. But what we want to do is make sure we don't get ahead of ourselves until that property is actually city property. And then we have time to work with our development services team on what services might be there, how that property might be zoned and laid out. So I think that will go through sometime in October or November is the plan. So we'll bring much more of a comprehensive update once we know for certain that that will become city property.
Excellent. Excellent.
Very good. Anything else? If not, we'll stand adjourned. Thank you so much.